basically what I've done is I've written down 10 things that I think every divorced dad needs to know. And the reason why I've done that is because I think these are kind of like the 10 things which must be just thought about in order to kind of process, get through, get over, and thrive at the end of what potentially has been a really traumatic experience. Okay? So I'll just start and I'll just go through as quickly as I can. Number one, you're still their father. Always. Right? There's nothing that can happen on this earth that will change the fact that you are their father. Biologically, spiritually, physically, emotionally, whatever way you feel like you want to describe it, that's the way, that is it. There's no taking that back. There might even be another guy they call dad. But the bottom line is nothing can change the fact that you're father. And if you are an active dad who's trying to be involved in their life, just trust me when I say this, they will recognize that at some point. We all as humans, all of us, at some point want to know something about our identity, where we've come from, who we are. Whether we were loved, whether we weren't loved, why we were loved so much if we're lucky enough to discover that, why we weren't loved if we're lucky enough to discover that. So the fact that you're their dad doesn't change anything. Be their dad, keep that in your mind. You're their father always. Number two, your mental health matters. It's a priority. Right? Your ability to parent those children is solely based on your mental health and the capacity that you have to stay together. So prioritize it, whatever that looks like. There's a lot of things that can help you keep that together. And I would suggest you invest in the thing that you feel does that for you the most. It might be multiple things, but whatever it is, keep it together. Think along the lines of things like the gym and things like the church, spirituality, if you're not Christian. But just think about things which really ground you, give you a sense of purpose, remind you of your humanity, and a place where you can essentially try to better yourself safely. Okay? It might also be a time to let loose, let go. If you're like really worked up, constantly working, all of that stuff, you might just need a holiday, to be quite frank, but it matters, so prioritize it. Don't let guilt control you. And that goes for even like your parenting, okay? Don't let it be something that you now make rash decisions out of. And what I mean by it may go for your parenting is if there are moments, for example, where you may not be able to be there for any given reason, and I mean a proper reason, don't let the guilt of that stop you, right? You're not perfect, and it's not that you're not trying to aim to be perfect. We are trying to be as close to it as possible, knowing that we'll fall short every time, but we're trying to aim for it. But don't let the shortcomings that you experience and enable the guilt to control the way you feel about your parenting or yourself. There's a lot of stuff you might have to forgive yourself for. And, if you looked at your parents, they might argue the same, all right? But it's just keep it moving best you can. Number 4, legal knowledge is power. Power. Yeah, you need to know the law and what that means to you as a biological father of your children. You need to know it because it's night and day in terms of how you will respond, react, and how you will deal with parenting, perhaps reinstating your rights, perhaps trying to get mom or dad, depending on who's listening, to reinstate their rights, or, it's everything. A lot of people assume a lot of stuff. And I'll be honest, Hollywood has damaged it for everyone. What they think will be acceptable versus what's the law. Know the law. I promise you will, if for example, you are going to court or you're going through any kind of proceedings like that, this is going to save you thousands of pounds just to know the law, okay? Structure brings safety. keep that in mind at all times. Structure for you and the children brings safety. It just enables you to be the best dad you can be. It enables them to be the best kids they can be freely and safely in your environment, in your company, in your presence, because they know that there is some sort of structure, some sort of routine. If you're not sure really how to deep that, it really just means locking in certain things at certain times with them and saying yes to certain things, equally saying no to certain things. Safety, right? It comes from knowing that there is structure, and that comes from you. You are setting pace. When they go to school, if you're not home parenting, when they go to school, what they are hit with is structure. That's why most kids, not all, but most kids go to school, and that's why most kids, not all, thrive in the classroom, because there is structure. It's drilled into them. They feel safe. Trust me on this, structure brings safety. Number 6. Boundaries are not bitterness. Yeah, you setting boundaries with your ex is not some built up bitterness where you're just saying no to this, that, and the other, or yes to this, that, and the other, depending on your relationship. It's like a gateway to a better future relationship. Setting boundaries with your ex-partner is super important. Now, if boundaries are being imposed on you, which in some theories should be the case to a certain extent, if they're being imposed on you more so, then just accept them and adhere to them. It's no good at this point constantly feeling like clashing is going to make things any better, right? So if they're not boundaries that you've imposed, then accept the boundaries that your ex-partner has imposed. Don't be bitter, and just enable those boundaries, again, similar to structure, to be a safe space for you guys to operate from, and let that be that. Let the future unravel. If you're in a civil place, who knows where that could lead to in terms of the ongoing relationship status of you and your ex-partner. How you guys deal with that, it could even be a friendship. I'm not saying that will be the case, but it's not impossible. There are plenty of people modeling that right now, so keep that in mind. Right, number 7, your body is a weapon. What I mean by that is exercise. Like exercise. Like put that in your weekly structure. I know I've said to you to prioritize your mental wellness and health, and this is part of it, but exercise is something unto itself, right? You need to exercise. If you're not, try to get yourself back into shape. I promise you, it's not just... Don't even think of it as something as, right, I'm trying to be back on the marketplace, I'm not looking for a partner out of all of this necessarily. This is just so you feel better. You will feel better. I promise you that. And even if it's not you chasing aesthetic goals, every single time I have left that gym, however I feel going in, honestly, and sometimes I drag myself in, but when I leave, there's very few feelings in the world like that kind of euphoria, that sensation you have of, I've just connected with me. I've had a moment outside of all of this. I've also overcome some stuff. I've battled some stuff and I've come out triumphant. It's a win-win on all accounts. And obviously what it does to your mental health is amazing as well. So your body is a weapon. Use it. Every day. Someone once said to me, try to cover your body in sweat every day. I'm not recommending that, but I'm saying 5 days a week where possible. You should be doing at least half an hour workout, if not an hour where possible. Yeah, let's just throw some structure at you. Number 9, community heals. It's important to get perspective. Community provides that. And it provides that because it's just that. It's lots of perspectives coming together, and it's lots of different people. It can also be a place where you find another part of your identity. It could be a place where you're loved. It could be a place where you just feel comfortable and at home. And that is healing. Isolation is probably the number one enemy to overcoming divorce or separation, right? Don't isolate yourself. There might be a moment for it. You need to go through your feelings, and you do need that. And also you might find ongoingly you need just a bit of me time. Nothing wrong with that. But don't isolate yourself in the pain. It's important to bring balance to that. If you are at times alone. It's important that you focus on finding times to be with other people. Even if you're tired and can't be bothered, I promise you, it's kind of like the gym. You know, by the time you've left, there is just something about having connected with other human beings and not had the center of that conversation be about you and your trauma. And it's not to say that you can't bring that into the community and share that and get some help. It might just be a support group, but that's the starting point. But even then, it won't be where everyone's just there for you. It's a support group, if you like, if it's not just therapy. But yeah, just keep that in mind. And number 10, finally, forgiveness frees you. It's something that you need to do in order to feel like you've let go. If you have suffered anything, then to hold on to what that offense did to you doesn't do anything for the person that did it. And this is not about revenge either, like, oh, I'm only holding on to it so they feel something, or I would only let go of it if on the basis that they're not, feeling hurt by the fact that they did something to me. No, this is just a case of you have to realize that forgiving people is really letting go of what's hurting you. It's not to forget it. I wish I had time to really go into this. It's not to forget what's happened, but it's just to let go of it for your sake. Right? If you imagine forgiveness like an open wound, if you imagine the offense like an open wound, forgiveness is really closing the wound, right? It's just closing it. There may still be a scar. Whatever's happened, there still may be a scar. And unfortunately for some, it might even be a physical one. There still may be a scar, but you can still close the wound rather than walking around with an open wound. Do you see what I mean? It's not for them. And you might need to forgive them as well. I'm not saying that, but the main thing about forgiving someone is for your own release from the trauma. So yeah, do that. Those are the 10 things. I've written it down. I've put it into kind of like an eBook format, which I will post later today. So just, I suppose, look for the link in bio to that if you're interested to read it and just kind of refresh on some of the things that I've mentioned. But hopefully it's just like a very short, to the point guide, something that you can just kind of pick up, reference as and when you need it, just to remind yourself of some of the basics, really, of overcoming this season. And I just want to finish there and say that this is a season. Like anything else in your life, there was a time where you may have fallen in love with this person that you are now separated from. And even that was a season. It might have felt a lot better as a season, admittedly, but it was a season, And then you may have had a season of being in love and honeymoon period, etc., etc. And then, depending on how long that lasted, while you're here, it would have been a season of breakup. And so again, even this one is a season. So keep that in mind and just try to use some of these things I've mentioned as tools to persevere and overcome.